Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for IDW Sonic the Hedgehog issue 50. We've reached the big milestone issue here. So when we last left our heroes back in Imposter Syndrome, Starline, Surge, and Kit were able to successfully take over some egg base. I don't think it was Eggman's main base, because they ended up being like shepherded there by issue's end. Surge and Kit planning to betray Starline at the opportune moment, but for now going along with his plans. Eggman finally realizes what Starline has been up to the whole time, and is forced to evacuate from his main base that Starline ends up taking over, entering into some kind of mech that Starline seems to think he'll be able to take over as soon as it comes online, but we don't quite get that far by issue's end. But they're getting ready for the big conflict with Sonic. Speaking of, he was with Tails and Belle, trying to take out the non-aggression code in Motobud and put it into a bunch of other badniks, replicate it. And that's going decently well until Starline activates that signal at the base that calls all the badniks in the world back to Eggman's main base. So the gang, after freeing Belle from that signal with a Zeddy Zapper, follow Motobud to this base, where Belle has to end up cutting a wire that could potentially get rid of Motobud for good, but is needed to stop him from joining up with Eggman again. They don't yet know that it's Starline, where she finds a heart-rending letter from Tinker explaining A, how Motobud became good, and B, just what Belle meant to her. And there's this beautiful scene with her and Sonic, as Sonic assures her that everything she's done is not pointless because Tinker is gone for good. The good times are important, even if they are, surrounded by the bad times. That shit is important. And it was real fucking good. That issue fucking hit. So with that said, the three of them head off to Starline's new base, thinking they're gonna find Eggman. And now let's dive right on into issue 50. Our cover here is of Surge and Kit and Starline. Battle's coming. This is kind of Surge and Kit's introduction into the main series, technically, though they've been hovering around the edges for a while now. But yeah, we don't seem to have a previously page or a roll call page. It seems we're moving right into the story, as Sonic and the gang are headed towards the base, as Tails asks, why would Eggman make such a big deal about summoning all these badniks? But Sonic just tells him the guy likes to make a big presentation. Can't fault him for that. But Tails, going back to the same sort of thing he said back during Neo Metal Sonic's run. Yeah, but doesn't it usually come with some kind of declaration? And then we see the base. It looks almost like a city. But we see this sort of, this tower in the background, the main base, and this electric cloud above it. And Sonic turns to Belle, I think. Not too late to sit this one out. No judgment. And Belle just tells him, thank you, but I need to see this through. And then we cut back to the base, where Starline is getting fanned by Cubot while Orbot does some work for him. Surveillance has... Why can I not talk today? Probably because I've been talking all fucking week. Surveillance has identified Sonic, Tails, and Belle on approach, new boss. And Starline just tells him, like clockwork, send word to Surge and Kit to engage immediately. Finally, after all the plotting, planning, and frustrations, my dream is finally coming to fruition. My perfectly calibrated doppelgangers will destroy Sonic and Tails. My overwhelming army of badniks will blitz all global resistance, and then I can welcome Dr. Eggman to my side, where he belongs. And then a shadow covers Starline, and Starline starts to sweat. Excuse me, Doctor. And it's the big mech that Eggman got into last time, not taken over by Starline. You're in my seat. And we see that even overran Orbot and Cubot's programming to side with Starline, as they're cowering behind the throne. And he just smashes a missile through the window. And Starline, using the tricore, starts a fight. Superlative entrance, sir. Immaculate. Nevertheless, I'd hoped it'd never come to this. As he uses the fly core to get above the mech. And Eggman taunts, because you knew I'd destroy you. No, sir. And he swaps to power. I didn't want to embarrass you. and just punches the mech, cratering the outer casing. And Sonic and the gang are still outside, sort of seeing these explosions around the tower, not quite knowing what's going on. And Sonic looks up. I guess he can see the mech, the weak can't on that top panel. Eggman is attacking his own city? But Tails looks, no, I think he's fighting someone. And then Belle notes something. Oh, my gears and starters! That badnik looks like Sonic! Is that Metal Sonic? So yeah, we see Metal Sonic where he's been left behind after his fight with Surge and Kit. And Sonic notes, yeah, somebody really messed him up. What is going on today? And Belle makes a choice to go down and help him. I'm going to fix him. I couldn't save Motobud. I know I can't save every badnik, but I can't abandon a robot in need. So I'm curious if this is going to lead to a problem if Metal Sonic wakes up and then starts fighting them, is back on the playing board. But like maybe, we've seen the past couple issues with Motobud and Belle, this idea of can badniks be saved? Can we stop badniks from having that kill Sonic, that sort of evil programming, so to speak? And maybe that could happen with Metal Sonic even. I guess it's a possibility. Like if it does, that's a huge turn in the story. I don't know. Though I can't, again, like I said back when Tinker was still around, I can't imagine Metal Sonic will stay good forever, because that's just not the nature of the story. But anyway, Sonic just tells her, I understand, just be careful. He's dangerous. And Tails gets on to him for the end of Angel Island. You had me repair him after the whole Neo Metal takeover thing, remember? And Sonic just sort of tells Tails, that was back when we thought Eggman was done and didn't know about Starline. Plus, you de-weaponized him. Which, fair enough. Back then, they really did think that, the story was basically over. That, with Neo Metal Sonic was the last threat of an era that ended up, biting them in the ass in the end. And Tails isn't even really going to let that fly. He still had his metal claws and a turbine torso. My point is... And then Sonic just disappears. The crack boom. We know who that's going to be. Sonic, where did you... And then Tails is caught up in some familiar water tails. And Belle calls up, Tails! And then we see a bunch of Starline's badniks surrounding Belle and Metal Sonic. Sawdust. And we cut to Tails and Kit, who has captured him. What? Who? And Kit just tells him, hello, I am Kit Tsunami. You are my target. But Tails is able to spin his tails around and break free of Kit's water. And Tails is talking to Kit, hold on a second, why am I your target? There has to be a misunderstanding. And Kit just tells him, no misunderstanding. This is entirely by design. It takes approximately 118 milliliters of liquid in 40 seconds to drown. This shouldn't take long. Is that just because of the fox? I don't think, it takes 3 minutes to drown, I thought. Just for, when you run out of air. But I guess Tails is smaller, and 118 milliliters is not much. Though I guess if you just cover his face, I guess it counts. But still, I do love this bottom panel here. Of Kit, the blur lines, the gleam. It's so cool there. And then we cut to Surge and Sonic. Surge is grabs Sonic by the throat. Gah! Whoo! And they make it to this junkyard, and she throws Sonic into a railing. And Sonic picks himself up. I'm sorry, have we met? I'll start. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And Surge, I do love this reminder that Surge and Kit have all of these feelings they've projected onto Sonic and Tails as objects of their hatred, as the world's love and their hate. And Sonic and Tails have no idea who the fuck these people are. They've never heard of them before in their lives. But Surge just tells them, oh, I know who you are. It's all I know, really. And that's the problem. Which, again, she has these it ties up with all of her issues are Sonic-based, even though Sonic cannot understand that. I am your fault. Starline, Eggman, sure, they're part of this. And they'll get theirs, but it really comes down to you. If you had just taken them out, I wouldn't have been made. Or if that goes against your precious moral code, you could have just rolled over and quit. Okay, so I talked before a lot, especially in the post-Metal Virus issues, about this notion of the never-ending story. You know, Amy quits being the head of the resistance of the restoration because she's tired of a story that she knows will never end. Starline talks on and on throughout Imposter Syndrome, maybe even going back to Bad Guys, though don't quote me on that one at all, about how, you know, Sonic and Eggman are in this never-ending conflict and he wants to end the story, to move on. And Surge's thing here, you know, Sonic can't kill Starline and Eggman, but, you know, because of, like, his moral code, from a narrative standpoint, he can't do it because that's not how stories work. If he killed Eggman, the story ends. There's no more games, there's no more comics, there's no more nothing. And, you know, that is a question to raise. Does Sonic have a responsibility on some level? We've seen it raised in the past, and I'm not quite sure that he does. But does Sonic, with the power to stop Starline and Eggman for good, especially Eggman, he hasn't really had a lot of confrontations with Starline where he was able to kill him, but with Eggman, who he's beat over and over again, does he have a moral responsibility to take him out? And if he does not take him out, does that put all of the crimes Eggman has committed at Sonic's feet? It's a question to ask. It's a philosophical debate. It's not really what you expect in your Sonic the Hedgehog comic, but it is it's something to think about. And she goes on, but no, you keep on fighting. You keep on giving idiots the freedom to repeat their awful mistakes. And it just keeps on going and going and going. And the whole world loves you for it. Which again, you know, ties into that never-ending story. I also love the little speed blurs as Surge whips around to stare at Sonic again. And then she starts to, like, power up. So I'm ending it. All of it. You, the Docs, the world. It's what you all deserve. And Sonic just has no fucking clue what that whole rant was about. It's a great rant, but he's completely lost. Maybe I spoke too fast. Let's try again. Hi, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And you are... And Surge just roars at just the ignoring of her whole point. And she, like, calms down for a brief moment. Yeah, okay. I'm Surge the Tenrec. And then she lunges at Sonic. And your speed of sound can't compete with my speed of light. And she... I think I'm reading this right. I think this bottom left Surge there is first on this page. And then she leaps above Sonic to throw a punch. And Sonic dashes out of the way. And they're just dashing all over this junkyard. You know, Surge trying to hit him. And Sonic getting out of the way at the last second. And then Sonic finally does land a punch on her instead. But she brings in another punch. And then we cut to Starline and Eggman. As Eggman almost, like, commends Starline here. I never expected you to be so cunning, Starline. But it's all falling into place for me. The strange raids of my facilities didn't match Zavok's MO, so I looked into how he escaped prison. The warden has some choice words about your involvement. Such brazen viciousness, calling back to the bad guys, as the editor reminds us. So why are you hiding now, you miserable little scumbag? And Starline sort of is starting to panic, but is trying not to. Don't panic. Think. You're so close. This can be salvaged. He must have had a quick escape route built into the command tower. If I take the height of the tower, the speed with which he could safely escape, the prep time to launch that mecha and fly back to the tower, then the hangar must not be too far away. And if he's piloting that old clunker, then he must have more in storage. Ergo, he's going to steal his own mech. And Eggman is still looking around. Blast it all, Starline. Don't retreat to fight another day. Have some dignity and stand your ground long enough for me to atomize you. And then a fish comes out of the ground, shocking Eggman. What? And he shoots at it, and it's Starline in his own egg mech. And Starline comments, what a marvelous vintage armory you have. And just decks him. It's these, like, old school Eggman mechs. Either because they don't have any AI, or because they're so old, or not caught up in Starline's little beam, little signal. But it allows them to just get into a fist fight. Starline punches Eggman. Eggman, like, spears Starline. And Starline, like, is, like, holding him back here. Trying to reason with Eggman. Because, again, even this far in, he still just wants to be by Eggman's side. Doctor, please, for once in your life, just stop and listen. My plan will work. and then the world will be ours. But Eggman does not care. I don't share! And he launches a bunch of, like, missiles out of his back into Starline's mech. If you really understood me, you know I won't settle for less. It's all or nothing. And you are nothing before me. And he, like, slashes at him with his lance. And then we cut back to Belle and Metal Sonic, who I guess has gotten away from the badniks. And so Belle is messing with Metal Sonic, and she says, almost done. I don't know how much longer this hiding spot will be safe, especially after I bring you back online. That signal got to me and Motobot, and that's no good. Unless... And she looks to the Zeddy Zapper in her back. I think she, like, tries to connect her Zeddy Zapper to Metal Sonic. Yeah, I'll act as a router and use the Zeddy Zapper to block the control signal to you. And she turns him on, but that doesn't really do much because Metal Sonic is not going to be peaceful. Oh, you're still a killer robot by default, huh? Yeah, that was not your smartest move, but, like, Sonic made the same choice, so, you know, you can't fault her too much. Or no, because she ducks as Metal Sonic lunges at not her, but a Motobug behind her. You saved me? Hold on, we're connected. I can access your files. And she does some digging into Metal Sonic. You recognize me as EggTech. And looks like your connection to the EggNet lets you know where to find Dr. Eggman. Oh, so it's not that, like, Metal Sonic... Not like she's gonna, give a non-aggression code to Metal Sonic, though maybe she... No, because... I'm trying to remember how exactly the non-aggression code works. Is it something that, like... Is it like a dampener that Tinker put into Motobud? Or is that a code that he put into Belle? Like, he wouldn't have put the aggression into Belle as Tinker. So does she have the non-aggression code at all? Is aggression the default? Or is the non-aggression only needed because Motobud was a badnik? I don't know. No idea. I don't know how mechanics work. Anyway, Belle goes on, well, this is it, I guess. I came here for a reason, and I can't very well let you get out of my range. So I guess she's, like, stuck following him, I guess? Because he heads towards an elevator and she follows. And then we cut to Tails and Kit, as Tails is just, like, running from Kit. And I will say, for all of, like, the good work the Surge Sonic stuff did with speed lines, this feels really static. This top panel here just feels static. It's not static, the fight is happening, as we see. As Tails notes, I have to admit, as he, like, dodges a water tail, yikes! Your control is impressive. And Kit, who has never genuinely experienced kindness before, which, like Surge is such a domineering boss that, like, she's just an ass to him. This actually might change Kit's allegiance. If Tails is just nice to the boy, you like them? And Tails just smiles, yeah, I haven't seen that kind of tech in a long time, and your gear looks much cooler. I don't know who's had tech like this in the past. Like, I guess the water theming is kind of reminiscent of Chaos, but, like, Chaos was not technology. That was an old god shit. I don't know. I might be forgetting something really obvious. If so, please feel free to, like, fill me in. But anyway, Kit just looks away and, begrudgingly admits, it's not mine. But Tails tells him, even if you didn't make it, you're still operating it. That takes a lot of skill and finesse. And Kit just questions, why are you being nice to me? I'm trying to destroy you. But Tails just counters, granted, but what if we could find some common ground instead? Your talents are pretty unique, and I'll bet not everyone appreciates that uniqueness, am I right? And Kit just looks down. I think Tails is maybe getting to him. I can definitely see this being how this fight ends. Because Kit has never been as, like, firm in the cause as Surge has been. Now, but Tails goes on, I know a thing or two about being different. Took a lot of practice to really get a handle on these, pointing to his twin tails, of course. It wasn't easy, and it's thanks to support from my friends. I get the feeling you didn't get that kind of help. Would you want to talk about it? But Kit is back in the attack mode. I don't need any friends. But Tails just tells him, that's okay. I'm fine with competitive rivalry. Can we work toward that? Tails is so good here. He is so pure. I think that like a Tails and Kit friendship could work really well. I don't know, I kind of want to see it. But Kit just like grabs his head. Don't ask me what I want. She's not here, so I don't know. And Tails is sort of commenting, whispering to himself, he's vulnerable but volatile. I've got to handle this carefully. And then he calls up to Kit. My throat is getting sore from shouting. May I join you? Okay. It's not very often we get like actual, actually acknowledging the fact that when you're shouting across a battlefield, you are shouting across a battlefield. I always think back like Naruto and Sasuke on the two sides of the statues in both their final part 1 battle and part 2 battles, still somehow talking like they're right next to each other. And Tails is kind of acknowledging that. It's nice. But Kit just looks at him, what? Let's call a truce for now, just until we got the facts sorted out. And all of the water sort of dissipates as Kit like falls to his knees, head in hands. This is breaking him. I guess? You, sure? He goes to join him, and they have like an actual conversation here. Though there's this ominous lightning strike, as Tails tells him, thank you. First, may I ask what's going on with the Badniks? And Kit tells him, Starline summoned them. His army, and Tails just acknowledges Starline. He tried to kidnap me once. I don't know why, but it was probably for something awful. Did he hurt you? Which, given that like the reason that Starline tried to kidnap Tails was to create Kit, that's a loaded sentence. And Kit just comments, yes, repeatedly, made me forget, made me happy it happened. And like they've been in this pool of Kit's water, and it starts to bubble up. I hate him, and the water spikes out. Tails barely backs away, and like the water seems like it's ice at this point. And Tails just tells him, I want to stop him too. Can we agree to do that together? And Kit's just shocked. You'll help me? Sure. It's what heroes do. And Kit just asks, then what? But Tails just tells him, let's take that one step at a time. The most important thing is that we stop his plans, right? Yeah, I guess so. It's really interesting seeing Kit with someone who actually is like nice to him. He's like we could have worked this out already, but he's so fucking shattered by Surge and Starline and really everyone he's ever known since he lost his memories at some point. We don't quite know how that happened, but we know it did happen. That like the idea that this boy is just being friendly to him is breaking him. He genuinely doesn't know what to do. So Tails goes on, great. Then let's find Sonic and that sets him off. I guess that Tails' friendship did not work enough to break Kid away from Surge. Because the water explodes again. No. And he's got full-on red eyes. He's like demonic here. Surge has to destroy Sonic. It's all she wants. I won't let you stop her. And then we go back. We leave them alone for now. We still got like half an issue left. This issue is so fucking long. It's like 40 fucking pages. So I'm going to be fucking sore by the end of this. But Sonic and Surge, Sonic's in spin dash, Surge is ready another punch. And they bounce off each other. And they're just exhausted. You can see the sweats. They've been going at it for a while now. And Sonic just tells her, it's been a while since I've tussled like this. I hope you're having fun too. And Surge goes ballistic at that. Fun? You're not supposed to be having fun. This is a duel to the death. But Sonic just almost mockingly, yeah, I've gotten used to those. I've also fought a few folks with the world wronged me, so I'm going to destroy the world shtick. And Sonic is here sort of taking the opposite approach to Tails here, which very much fits them. Sonic is kind of cocky, and while Tails' character makes him sort of like tailor-made to reach out to Kit, Sonic is kind of tailor-made to fuck with Surge. Surge just bounces around Sonic. It's not a shtick. It's who I am. And Sonic just tells her, I appreciate that. I really do. And then he lunges at her and slides into her. She flips over, hits a wall. And Sonic tells her, I don't know your full story, so I can't really judge. But I can't let you hurt anyone. And Surge, taking her own worldview and applying it to herself, So end it! And Sonic counters, nope, I'd rather give you a chance to rebound. And Surge just tells him, you can't be this naive. I like to keep it simple. I live for the moment. I want to see the world, find all its thrills and adventures, and enjoy them. I want everyone to have the freedom to do that too. And you wouldn't get the opportunity if I took that chance away from you. I've made peace with enough enemies to know there is a better way. So I'm willing to chalk this up to a rocky start, and let us have a do-over, if you will. So Sonic here, we've seen this ideology before, and you know, it's his how do I put this? It's what it is, you know. We can argue if Sonic is right, but you can't argue that he's never true. You can't argue that he's ever true to himself. He believes what he believes, and he will deal with the consequences. And he'll stop Eggman every time, and will always give him a chance to start over. As we saw with the Mr. Tinker incident, when Eggman actually had the chance to start over, that is who Sonic is as a person. Even if you know, we can argue the morality of that stance, it just is who he is. And Surge questions just like that. The doctors too, even them. And Surge just goes on, reinvent myself, yeah? Choose who I want to be? That's the idea. See the world? Yeah. And Sonic is like almost giddy, like this could actually work. That rejected me? Yeah, and he stops himself, no. What? If I volunteered to work with Starline, I obviously didn't have anything good going in my life. Oh, I'm seeing her rage here. If he kidnapped me, nobody has tried to find me. Her point being that, like, there is no way, given where she's at, that whatever her life was, there's no chance it was good. And so, why bother? Let's just fucking have at it, is her entire worldview at this point. And Sonic's just, fine. We'll do it your way. And Surge lunges at Sonic. Yeah, give me that freedom to do as I please. No regrets. You know, just like taunting him now, for which she sees as his like failure to act. And Sonic just tells her, nope, none. And he kicks her away, because I won't let you take that from anyone else either. You can choose to be a problem, which means which means you choose to get a whooping from me. And Surge just comes out at him again. I was built to end you, your morals, your friends, your world. I'm burning it all down and dancing on the ashes. And then we come back to Starline and Eggman. God, this issue's so long. I'm gonna like down an entire bottle of water every time it's over. And so shouty too, because Starline here shoots at Eggman. I'm doing this for you. And Eggman tells him, all you're doing is wasting my time, wrecking my stuff, and he knocks him with a lance, and ticking me off, and like spears the mech in the gut. And Starline tells him, bravo, sir. I'm thrilled you're still the superior mecha pilot. But you chose the wrong machine to face me. And that doesn't look like any of the Tricore pieces, this aura emanating from Starline here. Because oh, this is a hero's boss fight, isn't it? I'm not good at like recognizing these like legacy bosses. Behold, the exact power used to defeat that very model in the past. Brace yourself for my Tricore blast. And he uses speed, fly, and power all at the same time to like just wreck the mech. The battle's over, you know, Starline wins here. And the mech falls into rubble, and Starline lands. That is what happens when you don't plan for contingencies. And Eggman picks himself up out of the rubble. No, Doctor, you played yourself. I specifically chose the Egg Emperor once I realized it was you who raided my power core reserves. Okay, another trap. Traps on traps here. That sort of thing. I knew your obsession with my past exploits would give you logical tunnel vision. I knew you'd use their power, however you utilized it to its fullest extent. And thus, I knew you'd deplete that power just to make your point. And Starline realizes that the Tricore is broken. It has no more power left. Oh no. Well played, sir. I'm so glad. And he uses his hypnosis on Eggman. You're seeing things my way. So, like, even now, Starline sees, I guess Starline sees even if Eggman wins, if he wins by planning ahead, that's a win for Starline, in Starline's own mind. But it's not doing anything. Starline's last contingency has failed him. Why aren't you? And Eggman just mocks, you told me all about your inventions, remember? You were so very, very proud of that glove in particular. Did you honestly think I'd let you stay by my side with that kind of power on hand, without taking some precautions? And Starline is just stunned. You actually listen to me? That's what he's getting at here? And then, like, after all this, you know, it's not that he's beat, it's that Eggman actually did give him the time of day and he still betrayed him anyway. That really does kind of hurt, doesn't it, Starline? But you never said, acknowledged. No, this isn't fair. You've never shown this much foresight. And Eggman acknowledges, I've made my mistakes. One of them was tolerating you for this long. And he just, like, stomps onto Starline, or, like, just barely doesn't hit him. But Starline growls, I refuse to lose. Not when I'm this close. And he kicks up at Eggman, and Eggman dodges and grabs his leg and just hurls him into the ground. Literally knocks the glove off him and mocked, little man, what makes you think you have any choice in the matter? Which is just a baller line. Like, this whole scene is so fucking cool. You know, beyond all of, like, the character work, all the sort of, you know, examining of Kit as a character, Surge as a character, Surge as a metaphor, Surge's angst as a metaphor for the troubles of a long-running series. This chapter is just cool. It oozes cool from every fucking page. But then we hear someone call out, Father! Eh? And it's Belle and Metal Sonic. So, you know, time for more Belle angst. We haven't had enough of that. I never have enough Belle angst, not gonna lie. I found your letter. The one you wrote in Mr. Tinker. Before Starline ruined our lives. And Eggman commenting on Starline, who's now sort of broken at his feet. He does make a mess of things, doesn't he? Putting me back into the correct frame of mind wasn't one of his mistakes, though. And Belle tells him, I know that's how you feel. And I can't change that, so I've come to say goodbye. My father is gone. I have to move on. So she's at last, even though she kind of did this during Test Run, but like now knowing Tinker's final words, you know, she has to face him one last time and just end it. Just end it. Which, you know, that is the concept of ending is very interesting in this issue. Because it's an issue, it's the climax of a storyline obsessed, sorry, knocked my table, absolutely obsessed with unending. With the fact that nothing ever ends. There's always another fight, there's always like, Eggman will always come back, Sonic will always allow Eggman to come back. How do we deal with that? How do various people deal with that? And Belle here is talking about ending. And I don't know, that all feels relevant to me. It's all sort of tied together. But Eggman goes on, Father this and Father that. Why are you both so blasted clingy? And he jumps up to like deal with Belle and Metal Sonic. So, if you're not with me, then you're against me. Planning on dueling Metal Sonic tonight? But Belle tells him, no sir, I fixed him in fact. Just like how I'm going to help all the robots you abandon. And we hear this rumbling noise. And Belle has this look of like, there's none of that sort of pleading. I also should have seen that on the earlier page. She's confident. This is a Belle that's won, that's waiting for her victory. And Eggman questions, how did you manage to bypass the control signal? And something about that breaks Belle for a moment. I use myself as a secure router. And that gives Eggman this big grin. So, you interface with his coding directly? Yes? Oh ho ho. Splendid. Tell you what, you've done such a good job, I'll give you a choice. You can either join me as a mechanic, or you can go back to Sonic and his bothersome buddies. Oh, this is not going to end well. I think what we're about to see here, I think that somehow, whatever she did, will end up working both ways. That Eggman will be able to turn Belle against Sonic and the gang. Because it's not like Eggman to give a choice like this. But Belle sort of huffs away. I said this was goodbye. Of course I'm going back to my friends. Ha ha ha. Very well. Be seeing you, Belle. And... Or maybe not. Maybe he just genuinely leaves her. I don't know. It's a weird little bit. That grin. Maybe that grin will end up influencing what comes... Oh! Maybe Eggman's goal is to use that sort of connection to get at Sonic and the gang later on? I don't know. Lots of possibilities. If Eggman has, a connection to Belle's coding, it's probably better to let her be a spy for a while than to turn her right now when Sonic and Tails aren't around. But anyway, some more rubble falls as a result of, I guess the result of the mecha battle from earlier. And Belle calls down to Starline, hey, move it! The street is caving in! Giving him the same chance that Sonic gives all of his villains. And Starline is cracking. He's having a full-on mental breakdown there. I planned everything out, down to the smallest detail. I had every advantage, accounted for every contingency. And I still lost. I did everything right. He destroyed all that effort in minutes. I'm a failure. An utter disgraceful failure. And then the street caves in on him. And I will say, though, I'm not sure Starline was wrong. Like he was wrong in the end, that he planned for every contingency, but, had he actually planned for every contingency, he would have won. Had he known that, Eggman had taken his advice in some small ways, even if Eggman would never say it's Starline's advice, he still listened to him. He still noticed Eggman still noticed what Starline was doing and prepared for the tricores, prepared for the hypnosis glove. He was prepared because Starline told him to be prepared, because that was the problem. Or because he was listening to Starline. He was listening to Starline about his abilities, and he prepared in a way that, Starline never really thought Eggman could do. But now, I don't know, is Starline dead there? It's kind of sure, he can always come back, it's a comic, assume nothing till you see the body, and even then, this is Sonic, killing people off is not really the style here. But anyway, we're back with Tails reacting to either the collapse, I think he's reacting to the collapse there, as he runs away from Kit. What in the world? And that momentary distraction allows him to get whacked by the water. Ow! And he, rolls up into a ball and, hits the ground, as Kit, roars at him. You can't evade me forever. Eventually, you'll have to give in. But Tails seems triumphant here. Maybe. But you have to run out of water eventually. And given the size of your reservoir, I'd say that's right about now. And that is it. Kid is out of water. Which, it's very Sonic. It's very Tails. It's very Tails to sort of, keep a tab on how much water Kit can use. That's the sort of thing I feel like Tails, as, the scientific mind, would know. And it ends up being his victory here. His, without attacking victory here. And Kit panics. No. She'll be so mad. No. He tries to, scoop up the water, not wanting to face Surge's rage, because the boy is fucking abused. And Tails then jumps onto Kit, now to turn your pack off before you can refill it. And Kit just, is, crawling. No, Surge, help! And then there's this click noise, and I guess as the backpack turns off, and he just curls up into a ball in, shame. There. Now you, hello? Oh man, I hope I didn't shut down any vital functions. I guess assuming he's an android or something. We leave them there for that mental fuck-up to be dealt with later, as the fight between Sonic and Surge continues, as they both land a kick on the other. And they back up a couple paces, as Kit yells, "Fall down already!" And Sonic tells her, "Sorry, I just don't quit." And she goes full tornado mode. "If you won't quit, then I'll end you. You can try." And he spin dashes the tornado, knocks her out of it. Yeah! And she's knocked off this little ledge she's on. She grabs a little spare bit of rebar, I think, and is hanging over a pit. And Sonic is willing to help her out. Whoa, sorry. 10-second truce so I can call you out, okay? Which, fits all of Sonic's themes in this whole fight. But also, I think she's just unwilling to accept his help, of all people, as she zaps him. Not like a big zap, like a little bit static. Yow! And Kit just comments, heh, got the last hit. And then it looks like she was going to fall off dramatically. But instead, more of the building collapse from the mecha fight comes down. Sonic barely gets out of the way, and he calls Surge. We see she's no longer holding on to the rebar. And he looks down at the pit she's fallen into. And that's the real problem with giving people the choice. You can't stop them from making the wrong ones. And so once again, we have a seeming death. It will almost certainly not be a death. Not just because, I happened to, glance at, I think, the solicit for 52, I think, that mentions Surge being in it. But, it's also a comic, and we don't see a body, and she'll come back. If Darth Maul can come back from down a chute and bisected, I think she'll be fine. But Sonic, who genuinely just did not know who this woman was, he got an idea of what her hang-ups were, but, genuinely does not know her. Just has a somber moment for her and turns away. I need to find Tails and Belle. Who knows what else is going wrong today? And he's dashing around, focused. Tails, Belle. Aw, man, if something happened to them. And then Tails arrives with an unconscious Kit in tow. I'm here. I'm okay. Just a bit damp. Good to hear. And as Tails drops Kit off, Sonic asks, "Who's your friend?" He said his name was Kitsunami, and he was bent on stopping me bent on stopping me from interfering in your fight with someone. And Sonic comments, "Surge. She came at me. We tussled, and then she was lost to Eggman's Nightmare City." That's terrible. Oh no, I think it's Sonic's line first. She was tough. But I don't see how anyone could survive that. And Tails comments, "That's terrible. Are you sure?" So again, that "are you sure?" She's gonna be fine. She's gonna survive. I mean, she won't be fine. She'll be battered and bruised. But she'll be fine. And then Belle arrives on a friendly badnik that I guess she took over. "Oh, good. You thought to meet back here. I'm glad you're both safe." And Tails asks her, "How do you keep that badnik from attacking you?" And Sonic questions, "Hold on. First, where is Metal Sonic?" And Belle tells him, "I got him up and running again. He went back to Eggman, and they left." Which, is, as Sonic said earlier, the consequence of giving people a choice, that they sometimes make the bad one. And then Belle turns to Sonic. "As for the badnik, I don't know. I modified it not to attack you guys, but it was weirdly friendly to me." And Tails tells them, "I'm pretty sure Dr. Starline is behind all this. He's who sent Kitsunami and Surge, at least." So, actually, I want to take a moment to talk about Belle's line, because it seems like it's another comment on the whole Metal Sonic Egg Tech thing. But it's weird that, Belle doesn't know? I don't know. And Sonic just says, "What, again with that guy? Well, we'll kick his butt, too." And Belle comments about that, flashing back to his mental breakdown and seeming death. And just then, someone comes on the loudspeaker. "Attention, Sonic and Tails. I'm afraid you've caught me at an awkward moment." And I love Tails and Belle are a little surprised. Sonic is just yeah, figure this was coming eventually. "My Eggperial City wasn't ready for visitors. And then the late Dr. Starline just had to make a mess of the place." So we have a name, Eggperial City, which is a fascinating name, especially after the end of Imposter Syndrome made such a big deal about Eggman's love for amusement parks. To have this new creation be a city is an interesting choice. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what comes of that. Nevertheless, you are guests in my home, and I must be a gracious host. So please, allow me and my ludicrously massive swarm of badniks to show you a proper welcome. And we see they're surrounded as the issue ends. Next time, Escape from the Empire. Okay, so after 45 minutes, we're done with the issue. And that was incredible. That was that's the kind of issue I'm going to be thinking about for a long time. The ways all the thematic work and the character work all kind of blend together. The way that, so much of this whole arc has been with, how do you deal with a never-ending story? Ever since the Metal Virus ended and Amy gave up leadership of the Restoration, that's sort of been in the background of the story, and then it moves to the forefront with Starline and the imposters. And I honestly just love the way it dealt with it. You know, I don't think I'm going to spend too long on this part of the video, because I think I covered just about everything I could in the 45 minutes I spent reading this fucking issue. And also, I'm running low on water here. But damn, you know, the way that, like, I love the way that the answer to why let the story go on forever, why not just end it, in, like, story terms, is so wrapped up in Sonic's character. You know, because it's the choice. He can't kill his villains and move the story along, because that means getting rid of their choice, what they want to do. It means no longer giving them the choice to be good. And there's always a choice to be good. You know, it ties in with this sort of notion that I've been thinking about just in my own personal life, of, like, good people and bad people being a really poor way of looking at the world, as opposed to, like, good things and bad things, and you have the choice to do good things and bad things at all times. It's sort of what Sonic is getting at here. You know, Eggman and Starline may never take his option to be good, you know, to see the world, to no longer be the monster, but he's never going to stop giving them the choice. Especially, like, after the Tinker incident, we saw that Eggman did, in a sense, take the choice. It wasn't really a choice, but he took that option to be good. And, you know, I just love the way that Sonic's character ties up that theme. Yeah, it's a never-ending story, because you have to keep giving people a chance. You cannot just take away the freedom to choose. I'm not going to get political with that sentence at all, but you can make of that what you will. It's just interesting, the way this issue got deleted. The week this issue got delayed is all I'm going to say on that one. But yeah, it's just a nice way of resolving all of these themes. It's damn good storytelling. It's genuinely fantastic. And then there's all of these fantastic character scenes, you know, Kit's fucking mental breakdown. I really want to see what comes of Kit. Now that Surge is gone. For now, Surge will be fine. It's a comic. Surge is not going to stay dead. It's Sonic also. Surge is not going to stay dead. And then we have just the really cool Eggman Starline scene, as Starline realizes that, like, Eggman can change. He's assumed that Eggman will never change, which actually, now that I put it that way, ties in with Sonic's. He doesn't kill because people can change. Eggman did change in the end. You know, Starline made his choice, you know, betrayed Eggman because he believed that Eggman would never change unless he was made to see the ways in which he failed. But Eggman did change. What does that mean for Sonic's worldview? I think it kind of validates it again, you know? Even if Eggman did not change for the better, he changed to do good more, to do evil more successfully. The basic premise hasn't really changed because of that. It's a really, there's just so many things to, like, pick at in this issue. It's so damn good. It is so fucking good. And yeah, it ends, you know, with a great cliffhanger, with the gang surrounded, worn out from a series of hectic battles. And I don't know how, you know, they can always just dash out of it, but it's going to be a whole issue, I bet, to get out of it. But, like, even ignoring the future, this is quite possibly the best issue of the series. It's fantastic. I don't have a single complaint. It is genuinely incredible. And God, I am so excited to see where we go from here. God, this is just, you know, sometimes you read an issue and you're like, read an issue or a chapter or an episode of a show and you're like, damn, this is the thing I'm going to be thinking about for weeks or months. You know, before this, it was the beach scene in the last Chojin chapter that was, like, playing in my head nonstop. Now it's just this entire fucking chapter, fucking issue. It's damn near perfect, if not just fucking perfect. So yeah, I've said all there is to say, and my voice is shot. But suffice to say, this issue is perfect. 10 out of 10, no notes, damn perfection. And that's that. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the issue as much as I did, and the video. And if you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. But, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? You always have that freedom to choose. And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!